We have cars there. Danny Boyd was here a long time ago. Probably not now.
Yeah, Danny Boy was the first. Mark Dway was the second.
13 minutes ago. Are you still here, Mark?
And then Dean Stevenson is here now.
Hello, Dean. How are you this fine day over there? Not sure. Something wrong with the link. Something wrong with the link.
I know.
So you're gonna have to check it out later. Well, put it back on. No. Mike N is here. Hello, Mike. Mark is here too. Hello, buddy.
And believe in yourself.
And believe. It's raining. I don't care. I love it. Dean says raining is good. Up here. Hey, Gato Spec, up here. I don't work for you. If you don't have thumbs, you can't get the door open. Just lay down there. Stephen Andrews 1 is here. Stephen Andrews 1 is here.
Yeah, it's still brown.
Mrs. Spec is playing with the cat. Dean believes in Mike in. Believe says, I'm not saying I'm attractive, but when I take off my clothes in the bathroom, I turn the shower on. That sounds pretty personal, Believe. Are you sure?
Yeah, the Gato Spec is being annoying.
A pain in the butt.
So I'm trying to brush him to calm down.
And here's Stephen Andrews too. Hello, hello. Are you sure you want to put out personal information like that, Believe? And Vilefly clings to a meatball. Oh, meatballs. So good.
Oh, we haven't had meatballs in a long time.
No, we haven't. We have not. Mark they groaned at that joke. Buddy, did your spaghetti cook good last night? Buddy, I cooked it for 10 minutes, then went and checked on it, and it was a little bit still hard, so I checked it another 10 minutes later, and it just started to reduce into like the really thin pasta. So either they changed the
formula,
the formula of how they make it, or it's just this one box. But yeah, it turned out okay. I'm still not satisfied like I was with the previous box because it does reduce the amount that I eat into less.
Pitts Custom Car Shop is here.
What about Josh?
Josh Homer is also here. Sorry,
Hello, Josh.
I'm not super checking the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm brushing the cat.
Combing out the cat because he has a lot of hair.
Hello,
Pete. How are you tonight?
Dean Stevenson is my discombobulated namesake. Hi, Stephen Andrews. 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Believe says hi, Stephen. My delivery pasta has to be boiled like it was damp. Yep.
Yeah, but the last box, I would put in, I cut it in threes, 110 grams each, put it in there, and once it's boiling in the boiling water, then the last box, it was 20 minutes. I would check it. I would boil it for 20 minutes, then check it 20 minutes later. It was in there for 40 minutes, and it was perfect. In this one, I tried that, and the pasta was reduced to almost nothing. So this yesterday,
instead of like swelling, it shrank.
Yeah, it turns into really thin pasta, like noodles. Angel hair, which it doesn't start out like that. So
Rob's Rods is here.
Hello, Rob's Rods. So I did cook it. I didn't leave it in as long, but it turned the water the color of the pasta and got all over everywhere. Not as bad as last week, but still. I have to do it less time next week.
Thunderbird is here.
Hello, Thunderbird.
Meow.
Let's see, Dean Stevenson. Believe in yourself. A proper, resolute, and exothermic self-image will always set you all right. Mark says spaghetti. Yes. Mike N is apparel spec. Yes, he's laying right here by our feet. Firefly boiled it and it turned to starch. Well, it's made of corn and what else?
Don't remember. Rice, I think.
Corn and rice mixed together or something. Well, like I said, the same brand last week. I mean, the last box worked out fine. This one, there's something wrong with it. Pete says, "Good, nice to catch you alive, Mexican." Well, I hope you catch me when I'm alive. That would be much better. Thunderbird, greetings from northern Saskatchewan. The Wi-Fi is not great here. I don't have a joke for that, Thunderbird. Dean, hello, Wob. Wonderful to see you. Barry Kuda, I'm not here. Hello, Barry. He's not here.
Hey, Barry. Why aren't you here?
And Dean believes you are, Barry. So I don't know who to believe.
CD Burlock is here?
Hello, CD Burlock. I always use noodles so I'm not splattering when I eat. Well, the problem is it's gluten free, so it's not, it's all special stuff. Rod is about to go to bed. Are we really that late?
No.
Believe
Well,
says, my
here.
wife asked if I wanted to try role play. I said, sure, I'll be the guy who already folded the laundry.
I want to be that guy.
Firefly, corn and rice meal. Yeah, definitely something wrong with that taste. Might try bean-based pasta next time. I don't have a choice. This is the one box that is for sale at Walmart, and at least they brought the price down. It used to be like 90 something pesos for the box, and it's like 65 now, so it's not as bad. But the same amount of regular pasta is like 20 pesos. So I'm still paying 3 times over. Very good. Is Saskatchewan near Buffalo? Jump ahead, smashed in. Oh, jump ahead, smashed in. It's 11 p.m. It's 11 p.m. where Rod's rods are. 11:22. So you're 3 hours ahead of us. 10:21 p.m. in Minnesota. Pete, do you have plans on staying in Minnesota? Because they're coming after cars. They're coming after old cars and newer cars. The whole thing. Thunderbird. Barracuda, I'm not sure. I think Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump is in Alberta. Canada is a big place. Yes, it's very wide. Canada's very wide. Dean says 3:21 p.m. on Monday here. So you're not even in the weekend anymore. You should be working, Dean. You're in the middle of your workday. CD Burlock, I think they made gluten-free noodles. Just do they sell it to market near you? That's what I'm talking about. Well, they do have a few other types. Like sometimes we can find macaroni, and what else do they have?
I believe
they can't really hear you because you're turned around.
I have a microphone.
Oh. Okay.
They have penne, I believe, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, I won't eat that. That will never be soft enough for me to eat. Rob's in Ohio. That's not even on the East Coast. You're in the Eastern time zone. Thunderbird, very good. I'm not sure. I already read that. Pete's got some. I want to move to Florida. Ooh. You like humidity? You're going from the cold of Minnesota to the humidity of Florida? Dean, I worked earlier. I did a lively job cleaning my truck too. You have to clean your truck? You don't have people to do that for you? Mike in. Quit playing on the internet, Dean, and get back to work. Dean must start early. His day must start really early if he's off work at 3 p.m. He must be. Oh, Danny's not in here.
No, my stomach. Stop digging your nails.
Dean says, I like rain. Okay, John Paul Satter experience. Every celebrity, Iron Duke. No, Mike, it's a 2.8 with a 4-speed manual. No Iron Dukes were sold in Mexico. Barracuda, I sent my sinuses to Arizona. Good idea. Firefly says, chickpea based and lentil pasta might yield more consistent results. This is the first time this has ever happened, and I bought tons of these boxes. So I don't know if they changed the formula and it's going to be this way forever or whatever, but I'm just going to have to keep a closer eye when I'm cooking it. So I'm learning with this new pasta, whatever it is. Thunderbird Mexican, thanks for the help identifying the Ford Custom. I hope I can bring that home someday. It will have to be transported on the ice road when the lakes freeze. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that is a base model, which of course I like. You can tell on the back of the car, there's no type of holes for any trim that was there. It's just completely solid. That would be a perfect police car because that's what they use to make the police cars out of. Kim is here.
Hey, Kim.
It's stupid humid here in Tennessee. You don't have to tell us, Kim, about humidity. We're in the room. We're in the one room that has the air conditioner in it. And Perro Spec is here. Gato Spec is here. And if I open the door, the orange cat will come in here too because he's been asking to come in here as well. And he just goes under the table over there and stays there. Firefly. The wheels on the Celebrity got to go. Yeah, we can just put stock wheels on it. CD Burlock. Believe. Where else do I see you? He's on Steve Leto's live, which I did not go on this morning. I had a headache. Mike N. 83% humidity today. Kim P. It looked hot on the way home. Roz. Mex, take it easy, buddy. I'm out and going to bed. Got to work at 7 hours. Need my beauty sleep. Good night,
Okay,
Rob.
good night.
Thanks for joining us. Barry Kuda wants to know whereabouts in Tennessee, Kim. Are you going to know if she tells you, Barry? Do you know Tennessee? Vilefly. A crew cab Nissan mini truck. Interesting. Yeah, they sold a lot of them here. From like 1985 on up. Yeah.
Dirty ears.
Mm-hmm. He stays outside a lot. Believe. I mixed a laxative in my alphabet soup. I call it letter rip. Ooh. A lot of bathroom humor tonight. Dean, nice to see you. To see you. Nice, Rob. Edie Bird, like, my kittens are speeding through the room. How many kittens do you have? Stephen Andrews, 59 degrees and cloudy here. Send some of that our way. That'd be nice.
Okay.
It did rain the other night, which only messed up my backyard bad because the wind was there and the leaves from all of my neighbors plus mine deposit in my backyard, go underneath all my cars. So I have to clean up underneath all the cars. I have to clean out everything. So, yeah. Mrs. Spec and I, she helped me today clean up the backyard because there was a lot of leaves. Heat's custom. I got the AC on in the shop, very humid. We have to have it on. Josh is telling everybody good evening. Dean, Mexican Spectre, you know what fixes headaches? Yeah, naps. Kim, I'm near Clarksville. Cue the song. Thunderbird. That's a nice Bronco. Yeah, it is a pretty nice Bronco. But the question is, of course, it looks like it needs tires, but it's a red Bronco, but it has four Eddie Bauer bucket seats inside. How did that happen?
How can you have more hair?
How did that happen? That did not come from the factory like that. Dean, it starts with F.
Flowers?
Vlogging?
Excuse me.
Mike in.
You have the zapper?
Let the orange cat in.
You have the zapper? Or zapper right here.
Danny. I was told to let you in. Vente. No, you stay. He's looking at me like, what do you want? Okay, so he had his chance. He had his chance. Dean, you need to keep guessing, Mrs. Mexican Spec. Mrs. Mexican Spec can help you guess. Pete says, out of a newer Ford. Yes, they never put bucket seats in the back of a Bronco. So yeah, obviously somebody put Eddie Bauer bucket seats in this truck. And it doesn't look like they did a good job on the back seats either because they're not flush. They're kind of leaning to one side. But who cares about passengers in the back anyway? Dean, nope. Provat Riptam for my. I didn't say it was a migraine.
Oh, I know. Frozen Coke.
Yeah, frozen Coke works. That works. Kim says, yeah, you can see the factory gold paint under the hood. Well, a gold Bronco would not have had Eddie Bauer interior either. Eddie Bauer's didn't come in gold. They were red, black, and dark blue. Dean says, you were thinking of something else, Mrs. Mexican Spec. Thunderbird, Dean, what works better if lop Dean, what works better at lopping off your head much more effective? Yeah, then you can't get any more headaches. FC is 2 letters, he said. Well, not necessarily. If you put a dash in between the frozen and the Coke, it becomes one word. We can mess around with English all we want to. This must be the 1987 Caribe Plus. Is it? Yes, it is. The French were capital at that. Yep. Barry says, I was watching a documentary about South Memphis. I think if I'm ever in Tennessee, I might skip going to that part. Yeah, nobody, and right around there is where Elvis's house is. So I bet it was a better neighborhood when he bought his house there and made everything. Just in case you guys don't know, this 1987 Caribe Plus was the last model that Volkswagen made. You'll see a much nicer one later, but they made 700 of these cars, and they 4 doors, and they made, what was it, 300 of the 2 doors or something. It was like the swan song because that was the last year they were going to make the car, so they made this special model for Mexico. Thunderbird, I remembered seeing an Eddie Bauer Excursion in gold. Oh, Excursion is a different thing. I'm talking about full size Broncos. Pete, Mexican, you know more about cars than anybody I know. Well, I went in 1990 when I moved to Vegas. I moved there before my dad moved there. He says, hey, I want a Bronco, Eddie Bauer, dark blue. So I went to the Ford dealer with his money and I bought it. So I know what was on the lot. I was always hyper focused on cars. The new cars coming out, I see them in the magazines. I know what colors, I know everything. These days, I don't care anything about new cars. Nothing. There's nothing. You can't pay me to drive a new car.
I mean,
Dean, sorry, Barracuda. I didn't mean to be gratuitous. Mike says 87 VW looks like the Mexican DeLorean.
I'm covered in hair.
The doors don't go up like that. Firefly says, I'm dreading going to work tomorrow. 95 degrees predicted with humidity. Got to train our junior mechanic on AC work quickly. Does the shop have any cooling in it? Or do you just sweat? You know, the owner may think you guys are, have a few extra pounds, so he turns the air off so it could be like a sweat lodge.
Hey.
Hey. And Barracuda says, no problem. Dean says, thanks, buddy. Thunderbird, wow, you got to buy a new Bronco? Sweet. Yeah, and I think my dad still has it. From 1990. So that's what, 36 years now? Dean, your Utah joke, Barracuda.
My Kansas beautiful coronet.
That's definitely an opinion, Mike. Definitely an opinion.
Papa says the shop has AC, but it can't keep up very well.
Oh no, I wouldn't expect it to. You have to have doors open, right, to move cars in and out and cars running and everything else.
Papa says I think it's slow on charge.
Yeah, I figured that with my Durango out here, I started it up and turned the air on, and it wasn't blowing very cool out of the vents until the revs went up. So I took it over to my AC shop, and for 300 pesos, he topped it off for me. So now even at idle is blowing cold air on us. So he takes care of me. I've been going to him for well over 20 years now with not only my cars but with my customers' cars. We rebuilding whole systems in cars and stuff. So
Mike N says, I trust the Mexican DeLorean before the one we got in America. Dean says, see, we can be civil, like a Utah civil wedding.
Mike, if there was a Utah, if there was a Mexican DeLorean, it would have the 1.6, the 1600 Volkswagen Beetle engine in it. I guarantee you.
Well, what's a Utah civil wedding?
I don't know.
Fernando says, high of 64 here tomorrow. A little June Noiri up here.
Not it nice. That's the perfect weather to go outside and do things.
Josh Holman says, no difference. They were all built in Northern Ireland.
Yep. We never had DeLoreans here.
Pete says to Bowfly, I have to work on a power stroke tomorrow. It's missing.
If it's missing, how are you going to work on it?
I don't know. Baba says, nice. I need to learn to weld thin aluminum tubing with my TIG welder.
TIG welder.
TIG welder.
Yeah.
Baba says, it's an injector bit low.
If the truck is missing, how are you going to work on it, Pete? Like the truck's not even there.
I'm covered in hair.
That was your fault. You had the cat on your lap.
Well, he needed to be brushed.
Well, you could stand up and get all the hair off.
I did.
You did not.
I did.
You did not.
I went like this and everything to try and get.
He says, and it would still be faster than the 136 horsepower US PRV 2.85 liter V6. Yep.
Number says 73 power stroke.
7.3.
7.3. Pete says, lol, Mexican misfiring.
Oh, well, that's a different story. That's a completely different story. Since I was asked last week, well, how much was that charger? I put the price up there. Way more than, or this isn't the same charger, but way more than I would ever pay for this two-door Coronet. Way more. I would rather have a car like Bottle Rocket. There's a few here in Mexico. One even has a V8 in it. One is actually this color, a four-door, for much less money. But there's also people that are asking this kind of money for a four-door Coronet with a six-cylinder. They only came with a slant six in Mexico.
Bottle thinks it's a nice charger.
Yeah. In pictures. Somebody painted the bumpers and all kinds of stuff.
Bottle says, I don't do diesels much. I like specific tools for the job.
Yeah. And it's a whole different mindset to doing those engines.
Surrender says, I imagine they want pretty money for the charger.
It's the car itself is 370,000 pesos, Stephen. So figure that the exchange rate right now is about 1740. It's going up and down. Tomorrow morning it's probably going to drop again. So maybe figure 1725. Then you have to add in our travel and the transport and everything else. And if we're sending it to Florida, it's $2,000 for that. It all adds up. Mm-hmm. Way more than a charger like this is worth.
All right, so it says, so my daughter almost got scammed out of $500 tonight. An old friend posted a nice Accord for cheap. I messaged him on Facebook and he wanted a deposit. I thought that was a bit strange, but okay.
Never.
Dean says, Barracuda has a white bottle rocket, an HB Chrysler Valiant Ranger XL 245 heavy.
BH, but okay.
Mark says, then I called him on his phone. It wasn't him on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people that ask for, I've been asked for deposits. I'm like, no, I need to come out and see the car in person. So no, ain't gonna happen.
Fernando says, I want 71 to 73 Coronet or satellite four-door.
I have one for you. There's actually two here, but I don't think we can sell one because, well, maybe because it's a U.S. car with a V8 under the hood. But the other one is an orange one, just like that. I think the bumpers are painted and stuff, but it's a very decent car.
Pablo says, I got a crash course on a huge F350 with six doors. Wouldn't even fit in the bay. The service writer at the time got chewed out by me badly.
Chewed out for what?
Burglar says, Utah jokes are not plentiful. Burglar says, wait. Dean says, but they are a gift that keeps on giving, like multiple. Why, Berkeley?
Hmm. Because he wrote a service order on a 6-door F-350, or because it was a diesel and you don't do diesels. I mean, I worked at the Chevy dealer in the 87 and 88 model years, a little bit into 89, and the mechanics were, pulling their hair out working on those, the tune-up guys and all kinds of stuff. I can't imagine what a dealership is like now with all the computers and the failures and everything constantly that nobody can find. Can't imagine.
The number says, how many wives do you have, Dean? Firefly says, shoot out for bringing a huge diesel truck in the door.
Oh, okay. Does anybody remember Everybody Loves Raymond? His father said, one woman, one problem, two women, two problems.
Are we guessing
Why do
colors?
you want two?
Are we guessing colors?
Hmm?
And Barracuda says white, then Dean says brown, and then green. Then Barracuda says 9. Are we guessing colors? How
I
purple
can
says
get you that coronet. There's a 72 and a 73, I think, are available here in southern Mexico. They would have rusted out a long time ago if they were around me. CD Burlock, Mexican Spec. Later on, show the pictures I sent you to Mrs. Spec. When did you send me pictures? Is there an email right there right now?
Dean says only one. Mrs. Ecstasy doesn't know about the other one.
The other
About the other
girlfriends.
girlfriend. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you don't want them getting together. No way. Firefly, too huge. No diesel tools. Only had scan data that I was unfamiliar with. I had no idea what normal readings were. I solved it, but couldn't fix it without special tools. Were you the only one there that at the time? Or no, was it a Ford dealer or just an independent? Because most independents don't have room for a 6-door F-350, probably dually, and all of that stuff. Stephen Andrews was just watching Young Frankenstein. Peter Boyle was a monster. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He did a really good job in that too. You guys know that today Mel Brooks turned 100 years old? Today's his birthday.
Mm, happy birthday to him.
Yeah, 100 years old. And he's still doing well. He still has every memory in his head. He's not losing one step. So that's nice. Him and Dick Van Dyke, they're both around. They're both still here.
The product says just now, kittens and mama cat.
Oh, okay, okay.
Dean
We have
says
enough cats as it is here.
Dean says the chaplain at the Ministry of Works said keep your wife and girlfriend separate. Dean says very wise man.
Yep, exactly. Unless you want work done, then you put them together and tell them to get it done.
Mark says I called him out. That wasn't Jason's info law. Prophet says only one qualified to do diagnostics at the same shop. We had no room for this savage bastard, and that fool told the customer we could fix it. He was fired later for yelling at our parts people.
Mm.
Good for him.
I learned when I worked at the dealership that you have to treat everybody nicely. It doesn't matter. You keep your emotions out of it, completely out of it. The second year I worked there, I was in charge of the used car lot all by myself, and I was 21 years old. They just gave me the whole used car lot. Said, "Here, make sure everything's nice," which is what I did. And for example, um, they hired this used car manager, and he was working for himself. His father also sold cars, so he bought like 5 of the same celebrity. If you remember, the celebrity came in a weird brown color. That they were all ex rental cars. They all looked exactly the same wheel cover, same option, same color, everything. And it's not like we had a whole block, city block of room for the used car lot. I had to make them look different enough so it didn't look like we had five of the exact same car on the lot. And I took put wheel covers on them, I put pinstripes on them, I did whatever, and we sold all five pretty quickly on the used car lot because they were, I think they were, I don't know, like 6 or 8 month old cars. They were the same model year as we were selling new, so people got a discount for the used car. Hey, great, I'll buy that. But five of the same car on the lot at the same time, it took a lot to not let people notice that. And in that horrible brown.
Backlit says, the canopy is deployed.
Mm-hmm. They have to show everything.
Dean says, it will get me killed, Mr. Inspector.
But it would make a great video, Dean.
Berkeley says, I remember a movie starring Peter Boyle. I think he shot a lot of people in it. Berkeley says, the service writer we had a tyrannical beep squeak syndrome. Dumb as a rock, too. I almost took him apart in front of the boss's wife. City Burlock says, all that experience before you turn 24 years old. Wow.
Yep.
Pete says, that's a cool car.
Hey, Todd Saw. Stole your thunder. Hello, Todd.
Si quieres me voy.
Yeah, CD Burlock. It wasn't only that, I was the only person on the lot that the owner trusted when he needed something. The first year I worked there when I was 20, he handed me the keys to his demo, which was a 454 Suburban 3/4 ton, and said, hey, from Burbank, California, drive it to Denver, Colorado, and fly back, which I did. The next year, he sent me out by myself on a plane to Denver, and he says, drive it back. And I was 21 at the time. So yeah, there was a lot of trust. So unfortunately, it came to the problem where I couldn't trust them because they sold an '81 Chevy Citation, and I can still picture the do bill in my head, the exact writing on it. It said fixed transmission. So I took it to our mechanic. I said fixed transmission, and the sales department says no, that means change the fluid. I said no, that means fixed transmission. That's what it says right there. Those two words right there. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. So I walked out of the building. I handed the due bill back to my customer. I said, they are not going to fix your transmission. And I am not going to work here because of this, because I will not be responsible for their decisions, with customers like this. They're not being honest. So I'm not going to work here. I gave my 2 weeks notice right then. I took the last 2 weeks of December as my vacation. And then, of course, they didn't want to give me my last paycheck until I complained to the labor board in California. Then they did. Of course.
Todd says, hola amigos y amigas. Dean says, the best mechanic we ever had was an auto tune and electrical. His price saying, hope you got a lot of money because this car is
Crap, probably.
good expectation management. Pete says, slant six. Fernando says, he was the bad guy in Outland, staring Sean Connery. High noon in space, basically. City Burlock says, such an opportunity to learn.
That's what I thought it was, CD. I didn't go to college, so working at the dealership was my college. And when I first started working there, I worked with a guy on the used car lot. The next year, he went and became a service manager, a service writer, because he wanted more money, and then he would handle all of the famous people that came from NBC studios and stuff. Yeah, right. Whatever. Who cares? So then I got the used car lot to do my own, and my used car manager said, drive a different car home every night. I mean, I'm 21 years old, right? Drive a different car home every night, fix whatever's wrong in the morning that you find, so we can have the best cars on the lot, because the used cars paid all the bills on the property. You don't make a whole lot on new cars. A used car came on the lot, they added $4,000 to it, and then they negotiated from there. So lots of money was being made on the used car lot. So I forgot what I was saying. I don't
No,
know.
sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the chat.
I don't know, but yeah, I had. Oh, I made myself. What CD Burlock was saying. I made myself present in every department in that dealership. How the service writers worked. The guy that I ended up renting a little room from, he was the manager of the parts department. In the office, I would go in the one office and and she was responsible for putting the cars in the computer, all of the codes in the computer to let other dealerships know that we had a certain car on the lot. So I learned all the codes for all the Camaros, all the Cavaliers, everything. So I did all that. And then in the other office, they were doing title work and all that. And then on the weekends, I was in there in the sales manager's office, standing behind him, watching him do his deals. And he kept telling me, "You need to get your license. You need to sell cars." I said, "No, I cannot cross that line." When I first started working there, the sales manager, the used car manager, told me, "You do not work for the sales department. You do not do what they say." So I could never cross that line over there because I would not sell the cars the way they would want to sell it, because the way they were selling it was they told the first salesman, any question the customer has, you don't know the answer. Then you turn it to the second guy and then he'll close the deal. And I'm like, no, that would never happen. I know all the answers. I know all the cars. I know all the everything about the cars, and I would sell the car. So I would not fit in with whatever they were doing. I would not do that. So I never got my license to sell the cars. I stayed on my side, but I learned everything about how that dealership worked, every department.
Pete mentioning about you walking out says that's the right call, Mexican. That's says Mexican Spec has high morals. Excellent and not surprised.
Thank
Parfait
you.
says, my favorite saying is, I didn't build it, break it, or buy it. At least take some responsibility, sir.
Yeah.
Believe says, hi, talk some. Parfait says, Outland was an entertaining movie. Parfait says, as a result of my mouth, I stay away from the front.
Good call.
Dan the IT guy is here.
Hey Dan, welcome.
He says, hey, y'all. Parfait says, good evening, Dan. Barracuda says, Joe, 1970 is the Peter Boyle movie I was thinking of. Also had a Sarandon woman in it.
Susan Sarandon, yeah.
Josh Ramos says, good to have you come. So he says, hi to Dan. Dean says, hope you got lots of money, Dan the IT guy, because his computer system is crap. Dan the IT says, good evening, Raffline. What's up, believe? Raffline says, yep, training, ignorant sales, Inc.
That didn't work for me. It did not work for me. But on the other hand, the guys that were salesmen were complete morons, except for a few of them. There was one guy this guy with a beard. He was he sold a lot of cars, and I mean a lot of cars. Then another guy that I'm still friends with today. He's he was working there because he hurt his back. He was a stunt guy, in Hollywood and everything, and he hurt his back, so he couldn't do that anymore. So you know, there was a few people. When I put in my notice for 2 weeks, I just left because the 2 weeks were my vacation, because I hadn't taken a vacation in 2 years. They gave him my job. I came back 2 days later, and he says, "Please, please, please come back. I cannot do this. How did you do this?" Because he worked for the sales department. So he had to answer their calls. I ignored them. When they called me, I was on the used car line. When they called me over there for whatever, I completely ignored. I had selective hearing. I didn't hear anything that they called me for. But he worked for them, so he had to. So that's why I never crossed the line into, doing their thing. But I was in there every weekend because we didn't have anybody working. I would wash the cars. We would sell, I don't know, we would sell like 300 cars a month out of there. We were doing huge business. We sold all the vehicles to Burbank Airport, to everything. It was a huge Chevy dealer. When we came to Mexico, there's no big Chevy dealer in Mexico. I don't care where you are. They have maybe 10 cars on the lot, and you buy what's there. So it was never a chance, because the whole thing was, hey, let's go to Mexico, let's buy a Chevy dealer, use everything that I know about, running the dealership and everything, and this, everything about sales and everything else. No, there's no big dealerships here anywhere in the country. And that sucks, because when we got the new OBS trucks on the lot in March of '87, we filled our lot with them, and people were there like buying them like crazy. They were heading out the door. I mean, like crazy. We got the OBS trucks in March of '87. We got the new Berettas, and we got the new Corsicas, and they were just flying off the lot like crazy. So we were doing a lot of business, and I was in there on the weekends cleaning the cars for the customers that were buying them, as one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then I gave them my card and say, "Call me on Monday if for what you need on the due bill." which was changing wheels or whatever I had to do on the car, new cars too. So,
Then says, I'm broke like everyone else, Dean. And Dean says, have you got a lot of saw, Todd? Because it's been a great growing season. Firefly says, greed requires no real intelligence. Look at our government and car companies. Dan says, I do okay, but no one I know is doing all that great. Dean says, a beard? Did he look like Edward G. Robinson? Like Carafanos here?
hello, buddy. He's been here.
Okay, sorry. I left one. It says I left one job when caught owner clocking mileage back.
Oh,
Dean says a sales guy you could pick up. Firefly says, ooh, odometer fraud.
we had a guy, one of the salesmen was Dr. Bob. I'm sure you could figure out what he was doing. If you remember in 1988, the 35th anniversary Corvette came out. Each dealership got two of them, white on white on white. Well, Dr. Bob went into the sales manager's office, got the keys out of the sales manager's drawer, handed it to one of his customers in quotes. The guy drove it off the lot and never came back. The car was stolen right there. So we had police all over the lot and they were interviewing him and everything. But yeah, he was the drug connection on the lot. He got everybody what they wanted. Remember, it was the 80s in Southern California, so that stuff was everywhere. It never interested me, but ugh, my dream job would be working for Jay Leno, doing his titles and keeping his cars, keeping the cars that he has registered, with all the registration stickers on the cars where they should be and everything. That would be my dream job. All 200 and something of his cars, because there's got to be, let's see, that's 250 divided, not even including motorcycles, divided by 12. So that's 20, 20 cars. If you average them out over the year, 20 cars a month that have to be paid and the stickers have to be put on and, smogged or whatever they have to be done to be able to, get your registration. That would have been a dream job for me because I like dealing with the papers a lot more than the cars. What are you doing? Where'd we leave off?
Firefly?
Firefly, the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep. And he says, the patient has a headache. Dr. Bob, hold on. Hold tight, nurse. We're going to amputate. This is the Caribe Plus I was telling you about. That if you notice the next page, it's going to say production 1,200 units, 500 two-doors, and 700 four-doors. That's all that were made. And there's this one that just passed was restored, really nice. And I'm going to see if one of my customers is going to want it. Firefly, I would like to mess with some of those steam powered cars. I don't want to mess with the cars. I just want to do the paperwork. Huh? Yeah.
Sorry.
I just want to do the paperwork. I like paperwork. I like titles. I like holding them in my hand, seeing all the information that's on them, learning everything that's on them. California has a lot of information.
Stickers?
What?
Stickers.
Yeah. It was a challenge for me. Every year a sticker came in on my California cars to put it over the other one perfectly so you could not see the other color underneath. And if I messed it up, I had to wait a whole year to try that again.
Oh, but you don't like stickers in general. You like those specific stickers.
Registration stickers, yeah.
Yeah, you like
But
if I buy you a book of stickers.
No. California has information on their title that it'll tell you if there was a previous out of state title, it'll tell you what year the previous title was that was turned in for this title. There's a lot of hidden information on California titles that you have to know what to look for, but it's there.
Which one was the last one? Dean?
Yeah.
Papa says, I would like to mess with some of those steam powered cars. Yeah, I really like those.
Come on, go to the next one so I can correct him.
Todd says, look at that thing.
It's not a thing, Todd. It's a Safari. Everything is a Safari, but not every Safari is a thing. And I say that because every Volkswagen thing that was sold in the United States was made in Mexico right alongside these Safaris. They were just sent to the US to be sold as things. They were demoted to be a thing from a Safari. Does that make sense?
No.
GMC. Let's see who had Safari in the 70s.
That's
I
us.
think it was Pontiac had station wagons named Safari, so they couldn't use the name in the U.S.
That's us. Those seats don't look original.
They probably aren't. The original seats are not comfortable, not comfortable at all. If you want to drive the thing, which I don't know anybody would, but if you want to drive the thing, then you need to put more comfortable seats in it and maybe some seat belts.
Like the Omega.
Oh, geez, yeah.
It's like this.
Exactly. There's no cushion at all.
It's like the oh your phone.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Here, take them.
Oh, I didn't push the dog. Sorry, dog.
Take the microphone. I have to go take my pills.
Well,
It's 9 o'clock.
yes. Bring me something. And then
No, no, go inside.
Or do I have to convince you to come into the cool air? Pomecito. Man, pomecito. We're back. Laundry. You're doing laundry? That's us says, you know a lot about cars, my friend. I love it. Yeah, he does. It can become a problem. Oh, MH, hi MH. Suppose I should open that Jarritos in the fridge. Oh, Jarritos. What flavor? Barracuda says Civil War Army Surgeon Log. Why are you drooling? Stop drooling. Get out of my hand. Only that on his bed then. Firefly's doing laundry, so he's gonna be right back.
Okay.
Then,
Kind of late to do laundry.
I mean, if you have a dryer,
We don't have a dryer, so.
Salsa says, you know a lot about cars, my friend. I love it. Now, MH086 is here.
Hello, MH. Yeah, Todd. It's my hands-on experience. Very little of it is from books. It's from cars that I've had, experiences. Nobody said our orange cat was intelligent.
Um, MH says, suppose I should open the Jarritos in the fridge. Barracuda says, Civil War Army Surgeon Log. Also says, I featured a V8 Beetle in the live stream yesterday. I know you would appreciate next. I was at an air show slash car show at the airport. The Volkswagen was special.
Was the V8 in the front or the back?
MH says, are you stalking me, Believe?
Probably.
And Believe says, I'm not the stalking type. That's what a stalker will say.
Yes.
Salsa says, I will download my live, clip out the middle part, and polish and so on.
Oh, nice. Now here's something that happened when I don't know, I was probably 2 or 3 years old. My family moved out of one house and moved to a different city. We moved into
You gonna
the
tell that
valley.
story again?
Something happened with the neighbors next door, and they had a Lynx Point Siamese cat. When we left, the cat was underneath our van, so we threw it in the van and stole their cat, took it with us. Cut to me living here in Mexico, and I have a very young son. He steals this orange cat from the neighbors of his grandmother's house, hands it to me, and said, "Here, take care of it." So the cat is still here. It's like a family tradition, stealing cats from neighbors, and he didn't even know about it. Maybe it's genetic.
Maybe. So the Warlock says, Mexican Spec, I sent you a PDF on the
W2, W12.
W12 engine. Bob saw a Volkswagen on his drive back with a V12, just info.
Yeah, I know about it.
Thoughts says 80% of orange cats are male. It is a genetic phenomenon.
Well, lucky for the cats, because Ginger females are crazy.
How many percent of cats of calico cats are female? MH says, I just got a cat a couple months ago. I've had cats all my life. Found out all cats originate from African sand cats. It got me an OG.
I've never looked for a breed of anything. I think I've had one purebred. The Blanquita was a West Highland
She
Terrier or something.
wasn't. She
Yes, she
looked
was.
like one.
Yes, she probably was.
No.
So I like street animals. They're smarter, and once you start feeding them, they're very, very loyal. Right, Pedro Spec? Right, Oscar? All of our animals are so old. I'm surprised any of them can hear or see anything. I can tell the dog is losing his hearing.
That's says, and I was just saying how high of morals you have.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. My father did it. I was like 2 years old. I can't take responsibility for that. And
See,
my son was young too. How long have we had the cat? Like 13 years?
from 2005,
No, not this cat. 2000,
15, 2015.
2015. So it's been 9 years. So my son was 11 years old at the time.
I can see tiny little 2-year-old Mexican Spec picking up the cat and walking to the wagon
Damn Siamese cross-eyed cat.
when the English is here.
Hello, Wendy. Thanks for joining us.
Simran says, yes, I know. I have a female orange cat. She crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Dean says, Yale for 5 years and a New Zealand 5,000 fine in New Zealand. It's still worth talking about. Wendy says, hello everyone. Polycarpana says, I took the neighbor's dog when I moved. When I moved, they didn't take good care of him.
Well, that's this dog sitting here right now belonged to a house right in front here. And I think what happened was he was the mother's dog, and when the mother died, the idiot son over there, who was an adult, wouldn't even give the dog water in the middle of summer. So I got the dog to come out the gate. I mean, he could easily fit between the bars, and I immediately took him to the vet. And he, in a very short time, he would have been dead. There was no
Yeah.
way he was surviving because he had no food, he had no water, and every once in a while before that, he would come out and I would take ticks off him and stuff. But I took him to the vet and brought him in here to the house. The neighbors never said a thing. Never said a thing to me. He didn't care.
Cerebral says, did you say street cats?
Yes.
Dean says,
The white cat, Gato Spec, is a street cat. The weird thing is, I think the first time, one or two times he came in the house, he had a collar on.
yeah,
And then he came to stay and had no collar on.
yeah.
So I don't know what happened in the meantime where his collar went. But apparently he had some kind of house
Yep.
somewhere. I don't know.
Dean says, Wendy makes it love. I will not stalk you. Josh Roman says, Amiga camper? How on earth can that thing even move?
That's what I was saying yesterday. But did you see the price? They want 1,150,000 pesos for it. That somebody figured out yesterday. That's $56,500 for that thing.
Why?
U.S. dollars, not even New Zealand dollars.
Just checking my messages. Okay, Dean says, no.
MH.
MH says, cat breeding is relatively new. When humans created agriculture, they started storing grain. We're attracted to rodents. Rodents attracted to cats. Didn't breed because everybody was happy with the deal. And Barcuda says, we had an orangey striped cat called Gus. We rescued him. He was a good, happy boy. He went missing about 5 years ago. We never saw him again. Dean
Cats
says,
are up to their own things. Not ours, but everybody else's. Ours don't want to leave.
Dean says, Boy Carfano, you sound like a guy who has a doghouse. And Wendy. MH says, we had a cat disappear. Mom saw him in a tree several months later and got him down. Dean says, New Zealand dollars aren't worth much.
That's my point. $56,500 for that it was originally a motorhome. Forgot the name of the company that made it, but $56,000 for that thing, and it's not even in decent condition. The guy's nuts.
Fernando says apparently DDG Jamie had a dog poop in his studio during his live stream tonight.
I'm glad I was not there.
Parguela says what explanation did he give?
Who's he talking to?
I don't know.
I just assume Barry's talking to Dean. I still like the new C pillar.
Dean says it's still like this musical. Okay.
I'm still lost on that one too. I don't know what C pillar he's talking about. Oh, what explanation did he give? He's asking about the cat. That was Cats go off and do themselves. If the cat feels like he's sick or is gonna die, he leaves and he dies out by himself. That's what cats do. Our cats can go out whenever they want to. They're not they're not trapped in the house. It's cruel to keep a cat trapped in the house. They're hunters.
MH says the one that I just got was a feral. When they caught her, they sent her to a dog pound. She got transferred to a local rescue. That's where I got her. We're doing well.
How is she reacting to you?
Fernando says yeah, there was an intermission. And Dean says the citations improve CPLR.
Hmm. Because when you talk about a feral cat, it's not just one from the street, but one that won't let you touch them. They hiss all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All of that.
But this is true. I caught the wife's cat doing this. I asked her to wait until she got home. She agreed. MH says, I had three ferals. I can leave the door wide open, then have no interest in going outside.
They stay where the food is. Street animals are not stupid, which is what I like most about them. The dogs that I've had have all been from the street. We've saved a lot of their lives with vet help and everything. The black dog we had survived parvo. It affected her teeth, really bad, but she was like a really big, I don't know what kind of dog she was. She was a really big black dog.
It was like a mix between a pointer and a Grand Great Dane.
Something like that, yeah. But she lived a long time. She lived a long time with us. As big as a dog she was, I figured maybe 8 to 10 years, but no, she went way past that. I guess from her easy life here. She don't hiss, but I can't touch her. She does like to play fetch. When I don't know if this would work, but the female cat we have, she was just thrown out in front of the house, and people do that. Hey, he has cats, he'll take care of this one. So I brought her in, and after she was here for a while, she would run from me. So I would grab her, put her on my lap, and I would pet her whether she liked it or not. And at this point, she'll come up on the table when she's eating, and I can scratch her head and I can scratch her back. But if I want to, I'll put her on my lap, turn her upside down, check her for bugs and stuff. There's nothing she can say about it. But she's not scared of me or anything.
Dean says, that's our Sunny, a feral colony cat. It took a year for her to get used to us. Pablo says, okay, my bamboo fiber socks that breathe like Egyptian cotton are now washing, ready for tomorrow's hot weather. Wendy says, my Maine Coon died last year, the end of May. She was the only pet I ever had cremated. She was so close to me. Same, Wendy. I did just lose my pet. Was it last year?
A year ago, January.
Yes, I did.
Or March.
March.
The date's on the box.
And I have it sitting on my desk. The first pet that I got cremated as well.
Yeah, that's because she lived in this room with you.
Yeah, she
24
was,
hours a day.
I saw her from birth. Like she was good. Her mother gave birth to her while I was there next to her, and she stayed with me throughout 16 years. And she died when I wasn't there, so unfortunately.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, we were out of town. So yep. Uh,
And I didn't know any of that happened until we got back home.
no, I
She
just
did. She didn't want to wreck my. We were out buying Lester LeSaber's Ford Fairmont.
we were out working, and I
Yeah.
didn't want him to focus on something else that wasn't work. Believe says once I got home, we each held one paw and told Georgia she could leave, which she then did. Dean says she was an awesome cat, Wendy. MH says, yeah, she's still pretty skittish. She likes to be around me, but when she wants to be left alone, I leave her alone. Wendy says she was only 9.5 years old.
That's not a lot.
Dean says, I'm sorry for your loss. They are very special animals. Wendy says, I feed the cats outside her too. Fergus says, my grandfather had a cat called Nino. We used to
We
disappear. He
used to
used to
just
disappear. They were for a couple of months, come back and stay for a while. Then off he'd go again. Dean says at 6 months she had a litter of kittens and lived on trash and scavenging. She took uh, she looks at trash sacks like food
food
source.
source.
She's hilarious.
They always remember their time in the street. They always do. Firefly. Just checked on bamboo fiber underwear and it looked pretty gay. Like some kind of thong sack combined with a superhero look. Kind of creepy. Yeah. So, are you saying you're buying it?
If it's comfy, no one's gonna judge.
It was a hard day for Wendy when she passed. Yeah. Unfortunately, we were in Mexico City when that happened, and she was at the vet, which was not good for her. You know, she was not in our arms. She was not with us, so that's hard too. But no, he's not buying that underwear. When we guys on this Ram Charger, look at the interior. Look how perfect the interior is. The seats, the most gorgeous interior you're gonna see in a square body Ram Charger. Firefly does not have a trapeze in the bedroom. That's easy to fix, Firefly. Easy to fix. Doesn't take much.
What do you think
Where's Dean?
about Barbara?
We said that at 6 months she had a litter of kittens.
No. Where are you?
I don't see Dean above Firefly. I see Wendy. I see Firefly, 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 and MH. Look at that rear seat.
You're not on all messages, are you? Here, hold this while I fix it.
So Stray Bullet has probably been in here and we don't know.
Well, I haven't checked it.
How did that happen? Okay, now I see Dean. Why? But why would it? Dean's always in there. Dean, does it grow if your size is too small? Firefly, Firefly, get one. You're missing out. Then do a video about it, Firefly. How can you get a nicer interior than this Ram Charger has? Front and back seats, absolutely gorgeous and comfortable too. CD Burlock. I saw bamboo, Teepin, Big Lots in Big Lots. Oh, bamboo toilet paper in Big Lots before they went bankrupt. Cause and connection? I don't think so. Maybe. Firefly. They are tidy boxer short style, too long. Why do you want bamboo clothing?
It's really good for it's better than cotton. It's more breathable and it's a better source of clothing because bamboo grows a lot faster. Supposedly, it's a better uh, source of clothes and more
Firefly
breathable and
says,
stuff.
I'll stick to my socks since my feet sweat more. And Barracuda, our cat had a litter of 5 or 6 kittens, and when we weren't looking, our male border collie killed them all by biting them. You
Oh,
got to keep them separate,
that
at
happened.
least till the kittens are moving around.
That happened to me once with Kazan when he was little because I walked away and he was playing. He was a puppy. He was like 4 months old or 5, and he was just playing with the kittens. So I grabbed him from the neck and I scared him because I was yelling at his neck that I was yelling in his face that he was not allowed to do that. He never bothered cats again.
MH says, is underwear still a thing? The older you get, the more you need it. At least in my experience.
Especially if you're gonna fart.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. No. Depends what you're doing in old age care. It depends.
Depends.
Okay, that is the United States spelling. They call it depend in Mexico. There's no S on it. It's not grammatically correct in Mexico to put an S on it, so they don't. Just like Vic Vapor Rub, it's not Vicks, it's Vic.
Hmm? When it says I'm getting another kitten this week, it's going to cost me $125 total. She's going to be fixed all the shots and microchipped. I think that's a good deal. Yeah.
If you get all that with it, yeah.
MH says, yeah, my border collie ate a neighbor's cat. Neighbor had a good attitude, fast and furry, fun to kill.
Mm. How did a cat get caught by a border collie?
Border collies are fast. Rafa says, it wicks away moisture better than anything I know about. My feet are dry at the end of a super hot day. Also, the socks do not pick up dog hair when I walk across the carpet. Unexpected but nice.
That wasn't on the package when you bought it?
Silverlove says, how does honey and cottage cheese sound?
All right.
Mm,
For me, not good because I don't like honey, but I'm not sure if the two things would go together.
maybe. No, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
maybe sound good. Papa says, yes, people. It says, get one that can be guided by a PlayStation controller with. Mercury says, fish and chips.
Why are you eating the that when you're going to be making food right now?
I might not eat food. I might just make it.
Mm.
Says like curdled whey. Silverlook. Silverlook says, try it.
I don't like honey, and I'll take my cottage cheese the way it is. The In my family there was a dish called Luxion and cheese. It was the cottage cheese put on hot noodles, and I think sugar was added. I'm not sure about it. And then it's all mixed up. Cold cottage cheese on hot noodles, and then it's mixed up. That is really good. That is really good. It's a Jewish dish.
When I
Probably
look
the same in other languages, and other things, but
when I look for the recipe, it never calls for sugar.
no. Well, something made it sweet. Maybe it was just the cottage cheese itself. That's possible. It's a long story, MH. I had adopted the border collie from said neighbor. Neighbor always had lots of cats and dogs. Dog went with me for the evening feeding and something set her off. I wonder, a dog that grew up with cats, I wonder why. Maybe the cat was just a jerk off, that particular cat. It is possible. Dean says, $2 fish and chips. Why is it saying it's translated?
This is dollar.
MH. That cat had been in my house before. Everybody was pretty buddy buddy. That's weird. Weird, weird. Dora.
Buffalo says reminds me I have a batch of pork chops burning in salted honey water. Works pretty good if you sear it. Works on chicken, but you need to perforate the chicken meat before saturation. Silverlock says that sounds bizarre for food. Bizarre for food. Bizarre.
Bizarre.
Bizarre. What the fuck?
We're gonna do the pork chops firefly once a month.
Are you gonna try with chicken?
No, not necessary because the barbecue sauce covers up anything anyway.
You don't have to put barbecue sauce on it.
I do.
Fine.
1 tablespoon kosher salt, four
This is,
tablespoons honey per 2 cups of water.
this is nice. Buffalo said, oh wait,
Yeah. But we're gonna go down to only 5 pork chops because the container that we put the brine in only handles 5 pork chops. The sixth one was like halfway out and halfway in, so we had an extra day that they were brining, so I turned it over so it would do both sides. But I know that one I ate and it wasn't as soft as the other ones that were in the brine for the full 2 days.
Sirlo says the noodles and cottage cheese. That's ahora he's saying that that sounds bizarre for food. Noodles
No,
and cottage cheese.
it's really good taste, really good.
Rafa says barbecue sauce does cover it up a lot.
Yeah,
Rafa says I use a gallon Ziploc bag. I was
that sounds harder to deal with.
no, I was thinking about
You have
doing
to trust
that.
the Ziploc,
No, I was
and I don't trust the Ziploc.
I was thinking about doing that, but I was thinking that it might not cover up all the food because in the Ziploc bag the liquid will go down as the size of the bag, and
They
the
have to put it on the sides, and then you have to trust the Ziploc part of it.
no, no,
No,
no,
we
no.
have a plastic,
I have
storage container that's the
double
right
one.
size and everything.
Yeah, yeah, double one.
Oh, he double bags them. Yeah, Dean, that truck does look neat. Does look pretty clean, and it's only 4 hours from here.
Pericles says Malcolm had a yellow Datsun truck like that with gold crushed velvet interior. Dean says I like the older ones. 720s aren't as nice to see, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the 620 is more round. It has a nicer look to it. The 720 is more square, more for work. Then you have the D21s after that. Buddy's eating barbecue chips.
Oh, are you sharing with the class?
What brand barbecue chips are they, Buddy? And does it say it has gluten on the package?
Papa says if there are bones in the chops, then use the bags. They tend to pierce the first bag.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
they
bones.
do have bones.
They're
We
not they're
always
not boneless.
um we 80% of the time they sell bone with your pork chops.
Yeah. The what they sell more than anything, they smoke the pork chops here. They You can get them smoked more than you ask for natural. They're like, oh, let me see if we have them.
Yeah,
But they always have the smoked.
that's on you. Barracuda says, do you know Malcolm Dean?
I do not. Was there supposed to be a comment in there? Comma? Do you know Malcolm, comma Dean, or is Dean Malcolm's last name? Just to clarify. Here's another Ram Charger with a really nice interior. And I don't even mind the wheels. They would just not stay that nice with me. Wendy says there's a lady here that is in big trouble. She has 2 pit bulls that was loose and killing cats. One of the dog was shot and chasing people. I hope she goes to jail. It was going on over 3 months. Cops. Yeah, those dogs you have to keep under control. Firefly says one brine I tried was substituting strawberry jelly for the brown sugar in the brine. It was a bit underwhelming and turned the chops pink. I don't think I would use strawberry jelly for that. I mean, how does it get into the meat? I think it would just float on top, wouldn't it? Wouldn't actually mix with the brine with the liquid. Oh, the cops did nothing. Ooh, put her in front of Judge Judy. She'll she'll handle it. She hates pit bulls. CD says that Mustang looks like my buddy from the '90s. He called it the Maine. I just published a Mustang today. A short. The long video is coming out tomorrow. Nobody asked your opinion, but he always liked the Ram hood ornament. Yep, that makes it easier to line up the pedestrians when you're trying to get them. Works every time. Firefly. It is mixed with hot water. It technically works, but I didn't care for the flavor combo. Dr. Go is here.
Hey, Dr. Go, how are you?
Nice Ram Charger. I miss my parents' 82 Ram Charger. It was brown and tan, so people thought it was an unmarked sheriff vehicle. Yeah, 82 was pretty close to the 70s in their earth tones. Dean says, "Oh, I think I remember the black Bronco 2 with 8-inch axle and 302 opposite Haraway's. Why would anybody want to make a Bronco 2 fast? They flip over with the little engines they had in them. This is
Mm,
like a race beetle. 1641, supposedly 4-barrel carburetor. We're not going to get into that again. They put some money into that engine. All that chrome will probably get you home if you push.
Papa says, I also tried putting cinnamon spice in the brown sugar in the brine, but it barely registered in flavor. Yeah, I
I
figured.
didn't notice much flavor. I did notice they were much softer, and I didn't have to rip the meat off because I eat the pork chops with my hands. I've always done that.
Like the animals we are.
Yeah. And then I have to save pieces for each of the animals, 2 cats and a dog. You know what I didn't do?
Yeah.
I didn't give the dog food at 5 o'clock.
Corazón.
Mm-hmm. Wendy will be right back. I got to put my trash out. We have to do that after this is done. This is Sunday night. Trash goes by here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Seeing lots of great people there before it burned down. Me and Alistar Newell saw it the night it went up. I was doing night shift at Works Infrastructure. Barracuda. I used to use the Plymouth Mayflower hood badge for lining them up. I have a hood emblem on my '63 Fury. Top of the line car has to have everything. CD Burlock. It was a pretty fast street 289. He always let me drive it to go race on the street. Fun car and fast enough to compete. Am I missing a whole bunch of messages? Because
No?
I'm not understanding who these people are talking to or what they're talking about.
Silverlock? Silverlock is.
He's talking about a fast 289.
That's why I just said that Mustang looks like my body from the. Like my body's
Oh,
from
okay,
the
okay.
19s. He called it the main. And he said it was a pretty fast street in 299. He always let me drive it to go race on the street, fun car, and fast enough to compete. Parkula says, when was that thing? Wendy says, mine is very Monday. It's every Monday.
Only one time a week?
In some places like that.
Really?
Yeah. Dean said, 2006.
The blue '66 Mustang, you mean? CD, yeah.
Parkula says, what burned?
The chicken burned in the oven.
They says, she was a fast machine. She kept her motor clean.
I was just listening to Hot Rod songs. She's real fine, my 409. There's 2 GTO songs. There's Little Old Lady for Pasadena.
Fine, but I like shampoo.
I wonder if I brine chops with a plank of cedar in it. You want to eat cedar? You want to take your chops to taste like cedar? I don't know what the cinnamon stick did. I don't know. Didn't really taste cinnamon in the chops, but maybe it helps it be softer.
It says the store besides the bus stop. It's probably Haraway.
Does it bother you guys as much as it bothers me when I see a car or a truck with directional wheels? They have the front wheel facing one way and they have the rear wheel facing the other way. It bugs me. Cinnamon stick did nothing for Biofly. So what makes the meat softer? Just being in the liquid, and then the rest of the stuff is for taste. I kind of like the way the pork chops taste by themselves without having any extra flavoring on it. Let's face it, whiskey is just alcohol soaked wood. I wouldn't know, Wildfly.
Yeah,
CD.
because you put it in the barrel.
Oh yeah, CD Burlock. His was a '68 new short block cam change manifold and distributor. Or aftermarket.
Polycarp. So says, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Spec. Just wanted to stop in and say hi and hope you both are well. I worked on the car all day today and in mid 70s because it will be 95 tomorrow with over 85% humidity for days.
Wow. How did Doctor Go? How did those parts fit that you bought from Replicate or something? That place, the inserts on your Chrysler. How did those fit?
But says, just absorbing the water and salt makes it tender.
Okay, so the rest of it is just for flavoring. But we buy the chops on Fridays first to eat it on Sundays, so it's perfect. Just use 1 tablespoon kosher salt in 2 cups of water if you don't want the flavor to change. Any of the brines, the change in the flavor would be so subtle. I probably
I
wouldn't
like
even notice.
I like I know I like the sugar.
Yeah,
It looks good. It tastes good with the sugar.
yeah. Storage block between where Harrington put his circus ride ball and the administration area, Dean says. Salt is like an alkali, Mexican spec. It breaks down the meat, collagen, I think, CD Burlock says. So the salt is what's important to make it softer. Good. Anything else added to the brine is for flavoring. Okay, now I understand. My dad had a 67 C10 as a kid. Heat only, manual choke, 3 on the tree. Mike, did it have the small rear window like this one? This is the truck that Buff talks about. The small window was for not all the 67s have small windows. It was probably the beginning of the production year, and then they went to the bigger window. So he likes this one because it was the only 67 to 72 that had a small window. Right down at the bottom, U.S. spec truck. Yes, it is, because you can tell by the bed. The 67 Mexican bed had a lower rear fender, like it had a fender skirt. It had vertical tail lights, and all different style vertical tail lights. And you guys know what this is on the screen. K5 Blazer, first year for the square body K5 Blazer, full convertible.
Papa says, I've learned that powdery spices do not work in the brine. Just don't mix well.
That's good to know. We won't bother with it then.
Mike Ennis here?
Mike has been here.
Okay. Well, he hasn't been talking, so I forgot. Whose fault is that?
Mike's.
Mike says, yes, small window.
Mm.
Barracuda says, I've just Googled it in. I didn't know about the fire. Did they have to rebuild the old building? He says it was a Black Ranger long bed, not Bronco. Two. It's all coming back to me. I tried to buy it in 2011, opposite Haraway's, just up from the Kaikori pipe bands.
Mm.
It says replica plastics. These fiberglass parts require some drilling of holes and relief slouch cut so I could flex it into place. Lots of dry fitting. Looks decent, but requires patience. I will start posting.
Oh, okay.
Buffett says has the aromatic spices like rosemary, anise, cloves, mint, stuff like that. Triple says spoke rims are so ghetto. Mike says mine. I'm a lurker, multitasking. It's okay, Mike. Buffett says basically spices that are oil based.
So the oil gets into the meat.
They're
Yeah.
gonna go to Tiger Dean. Dean says it was left open in 2006, then burnt down in 2019. Then the storage facility was open planned, I think.
Hey, this beetle has one piece windows. Didn't even notice that before. It's dumb. Everybody needs the vent window, and the rear windows flip out, I think. I hope it has a lift to get up into their driveway. Otherwise, it's staying in the street. That's a comment for you.
My my comment. Dean says Mike is and woohoo. Okay, what?
Yeah. Four style rims. Yep. Sure are.
Rafael says a lower beetle.
Yeah.
When the
People are doing that here.
I saved you a spot on Wendy. Regular says that building was so old the timber would have burned like a match. Dean says I love that car.
But wood
Would a woodchuck chuck like a woodchuck
well,
would?
they're not wood floors, but they're pieces of wood on top of the.
Oh come on!
I heard you.
That came out like out of my like the back of my brain from like way back when. Can you say it? Can you say
Porsche steering wheel too. If a woodchuck, what was it?
it? That's a no.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Yeah, that's a no.
Here's your tuatara. There's only 3 pictures of this though.
Um, Ian says Incubus. It's so much better when Mike is in. When the English is pretty blue. Coco says I need rest so I can work in the heat tomorrow. Good night, all.
Good night, Dr. Go.
Good night, Dr. Go.
Hopefully you have some shade somewhere there.
I need to step aside for a minute.
What's this?
Where's my phone?
What's this?
There you go.
A screen in a screen.
You don't have to be under my feet. Where are my shoes? They're over here. No, you're not going out. I forbid it. No, he needs his food. Should I give him his food?
Yes.
That's
Josh says, looks like a good hunting
That's
vehicle.
probably why he keeps going out.
Yeah, but what kind of hunting are they doing in Mexico, Josh? This little red Nissan was called 200SX in the US. It's called Lucino here. Lucino. A 2-door Sentra with a special thing sticking out the front bumper. You know, they lower this car, they put the special engine in it, and the exhaust out the front or the intake out the front or whatever, and they leave the stock wheels on it. Interesting. And what is that purple doing under the hood? Jeez. Pistachio biofly. Those are really expensive here. Really expensive. So are cashews. Those are really expensive here. Of course, it's a repaint, CD Burlock. It was not purple from the beginning. Somebody painting the engine compartment purple. It was probably an original red car because that's the color they came in. I am going to need to take a little break. I'm not sure I can.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys. Mrs. Spec is here to sing and dance for you.
I I only know one song, but sure. I don't know what you guys said last. Why are you clinging to a pistachio biofly? Because it's expensive everywhere. The product says it's a repaint. Probably. You were craving salt. Oh, that's a good reason. I haven't eaten pistachios in so long. You know what I have biofly right now in my fridge, which I should go have got some dates. I don't know if you had some lately. They're so good. I love dates. Just by themselves. Just dates by themselves. Regular says it was a horrible place to work. My boss, Huss Rutson, was horrible too. Huss Rutson. What does that sound weird? Dean says cashew nuts. Yes, but they're so expensive. They're freakishly expensive. Wi-Fi says Gesundheit. Sorry. Then says you should have gone to work with Robbie at the filmongery. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Regular says next door. Wi-Fi says dates. The wife is fond of them. Yes, they're so good. They're a little bit expensive, but I usually wait a couple of months until they like go out start going out of season and they lower the prices. Dean says Robbie Mitchell was a great boss. My uncle supplied chemicals for Glenderman. Dean says it's now done it in truck servicing. Uh, sorry, Russ Hudson. Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Dean says, yep, cotton soft for a while. Pablo says, I wish plum trees grew in my area. Oh, yeah. I like plums. They're also expensive here in this area. Cerebrox says, cashew and macadamia in one can is what I buy. I honestly don't remember the difference between cashew and macadamia. I remember one of them is like a C kind of shape. That's the one that I like and it's really expensive. Like really white and it's kind of like C shape. And Dean says, my wife shall never know about my dates. Butterfly says macadamia flavors are too weak for me. I don't know the difference. I forgot. C is for cashews. Well, okay. C for cashew. Which one's the macadamia then? Dean says, but she does read here, so I best be careful. Let me look it up. Now I'm just wondering. Um, okay. Macadamia nut. Okay. I've never had them then. I don't know this nut. Silverlock says one is round, the other is like a curved horn. Cashews. Yeah, I've had cashews. They're really expensive here. I've never had macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are triangular shaped and too flavorless for me. Since Mrs. Ecstasy likes pine nuts. I don't think I have a pine nuts either. Not sure if I have pine nuts. Yeah. The ones we have here the most are like the ones that look like a brain. Hey, Danny. Hey. Hmm. And hummus. I thought DGT got rid of hummus. Cerebral Macadamia cookies at Walmart. The bomb. Delicious. I want to try the lemon. They have a lemon cake or some kind. I want to try that. Also says spice and nut joke around the corner. Fair, fair. Dean says I still love the Chevrolet Malibu. Interesting cop car. Yeah, I like the interior. Do you mean Glendermine? Glendermid? Since its hummus most commonly referred to a creamy savory dip of spread made by chickpeas, tahini, lemon, and garlic. I've never tried hummus, but chickpeas are the bomb. Pablo says, not that you'd catch anyone with the inline six. Dean says, yeah, that. Sorry, Barcola. Pablo says, I read that in discount rack for bakery goods, muffins, and pies. Yeah, but over here they don't have that much. Like they don't. I mean, they have a discount rack, but they don't have that much of a discount, especially with the specialties. Where places, hummus, I made it. Cerebral says pecan pie. Wow, I don't like pecan pie. Well, I only tried one. They actually made it at Walmart. They have for the holidays last year. They had special, like like singular pies, like one like for one serving. They had cherry, apple, pecan, and some other flavor. I think it was pineapple. And I tried one of each because I love apple pie. I make my apple pie myself. It's kind of hard, but I make it. Um, and I love all the flavors, but pecan pie. It was just like I don't know. I just didn't like it. My mouth said no, thank you. But if pecan pie is my kryptonite. Kryptonite as you hate it, or kryptonite as it's as if somebody offered you, you'd like do anything for it. Dean says Miss Ecstasy lived off the stuff for post-operative when she had her stomach bypass. Someone says not a fan of pecans myself. I like pecans, but not the pecan pie. I don't know what the difference is. It's usually too sweet, high sugar. No, it wasn't that it was too sweet. It was that when I was biting it, it just left like it made my mouth itch. And it wasn't that I'm allergic. I'm not allergic to nuts. Like I need the pecans by itself just fine. But it was like coarse. Like it was I was eating something hard, and it was making my mouth like when you eat cereal by the handful without milk, and you get your mouth all cut up or something like that. Wendy says later on I got to fold laundry. Thank you for being here, Wendy. Have a nice night and good luck with your kitty. Steven Andrew says pea pie, blueberry pie. I. Pablo says pecan pie is about 10,000 calories more than other pies. Fair. He says stop holding your white water. Pablo says it's a heavy hitter. Steven says peach. White where? White where? Yeah, that didn't make any more sense. Dean says if you can bend laundry, you could start a panel press. Oh, look at that bug. It's so cute. Really like that color. Not the white one. The other one. Dean says buy, 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 buy. Advertising creates need. Okay, says I need to put my socks in the dryer. Be right back. Okay. Did you only wash your socks? Was it the only thing on the wash machine? Because it's Blender Mid had a woolen goods shop in Dunedin. I used to get little bottles of lanolin oil there for my paint work at Miller Studios. A drop in the Duco prevented fisheye. Okay. Dean says the oh sorry. Dean says the Volkswagen is great. Oh no, hey oh no. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Papa says the dog shoves my socks under the bed. I had to harness the stash all at once. Una sesión para fumar, por favor. Okay. I'm still confused about your message, Barrico. That says, um, for your painting work at Miller Studios, a drop in the Duco prevented fish eyes. Like, did you put it on your own eyes or something while you painted? I'm confused. Dean says we use the containers for bulk would be too minnow samples for roading. Una says hockey is all over till August, so I have lots of time now. Okay. Barracuda says I remember Robbie Mitchell. He had a Boxel Victor in the 80s in Nidenu. Dean says we did penetration grade test, all sorts of laboratory tests. Then says, yeah, cool guy. Loved his 327/68 Chevrolet too. Barracuda says, fish eyes. No, sorry, I don't know. Is it? And Bob says, all 327 engines are fun. Barracuda says, is it the same Robbie? Cerebro says, pecan pie filling tastes like maple syrup. It may taste like maple syrup, but when you bite into it with so many pecans in it, it breaks up in your mouth. Fernando says, even the AMC ones, Firefly. Uno says, ¿dónde están los churros? En la churrería, afuera de la iglesia. Firefly says, yeah, I have to agree a bit. Dean says, yes, I worked later on with Robbie Stevens importing cars. Buddy Carafana says, fish eyes are flaws in the paint job. Okay. Fish eyes are flaws in the paint job. So, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, too far. Ah, okay. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Okay, I think I understood your message. Rafa says the Chevy 327 is my favorite because the fish eyes are something that you can get on a surface that you are spray paint. And it
Then
says,
after we sand it out. Oh no.
yes, one is here.
Oh no.
And Wendy had to leave. And Uno says, this is the best episode ever on the channel. Why is this different? Fernando says, there is one of these spirits for sale here in Denino. Must resist. I'm in enough trouble already. Pablo says, too much thinner causes orange peel slash fisheye. Question mark. Dean says the AMC 327s were a really strong engine. Bottom the later AMC engines were different, but they used the same transfer dimensions on the cylinder blocks.
Now close the door. Oh, cat talks back.
Pablo says, ah. Uno says, oh, it just got much, mucho terrible a second ago.
I wonder why.
Dean says, toluene content above 35% causes problems.
Well, it may get a little bit better again. didn't know if I was going to be coming back.
Solo en a thinner or reducer. No se escribe. Porque it says the fish eyes for me were painted MDF port. Then it says, then I know. Then I know.
Burlock says the GM 3800 is based on the AMC V8. GM bought the rights back. V8 or V6?
Dean says, good question about mine.
This is one of the nicest Gremlins you're going to see of this body style. They weren't called Gremlin by this time in the US, but it's one of the nicest ones you're going to see.
Chocolate says, I'm guessing thinner since there's a solvent. Or this says, the thinner would draw the wax or whatever out of the wood. The Burlock says 3,800 V6.
Gremlin X. This car is just about as nice as they get. Very well cared for car.
Well, it says, oh, really nice. Una says, are there any Army surplus vehicles for sale in Mexico? Or are they all whooped out?
But what would be an Army surplus vehicle in Mexico? They don't really use anything other than pickup trucks. They don't really have tanks or any of that stuff.
No.
For transport. You know,
We are an Army positive country or whatever you want to call it. But we don't.
I don't think the government here sells anything after they're done with it. By the time they're done with it, they are destroyed.
Yeah.
You can't buy an ex-police car or anything. They go straight to the junkyards. All of the trucks that they use, they'll use them until they can't use them anymore. And they will not sell them to you.
No.
There's plenty of them for sale over there in the U.S., Vilefly.
Okay, there's so much for buying the APC from the Army law.
You know, cameras have gotten so good. I don't understand why people still take pictures like this.
It says Buick's old Pontiac V8 was the 215.4
You can skip all the numbers.
bore spacings. The 996 and 225 V6 were Buick BOP 215 based, but iron and used in the Jeep in 225 form. Then it became the 3.1 and 3.8. Papa says, yep, but I wouldn't be good at fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
Bertula says, it actually confuses me using drops of lanolin to prevent fish eyes.
You'd think it would cause them.
Sorry. Silverlock says, dismantle for parts or crash more likely.
Yeah, they send them to the junkyard, and the junkyard sells parts off of them. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat. I was looking forward to the chicken too. This 64 Galaxy 500 XL has been for sale as long as I've been looking for cars for sale in Mexico. And I'm pretty sure it's the same seller trying to sell it. I mean, it's got all the right options. It's got the engine, it's got the floor shifted automatic, missing a piece of trim there, two pieces of trim.
Dean says the GM 3800 was all new, but had traces of the old 231 architecture. The display offset was increased for the GM powertrain 3300 and 3800, all 4.24-inch four-spacing engines. Silverlock says 1 liter is at equals 61.25 cubic inches. Dean says it's an emulsion Berkeley. Papa says, "Oh, forgot. Flybaby really enjoyed the steakhouse dinner. It was nice to be able to provide her with a much wider selection that were gluten free."
That's nice.
Yeah, that's good for her. Her?
Yes.
Yes.
I ended up just spraying the paint on thicker with less thinner to avoid fish eyes. I was still learning then, Barracuda says. I didn't get many fish eye. On my 63 Plymouth, I put white primer on and then I put clear on top of the white primer. And it still looks pretty good, in my opinion, even after the accident. So it worked. Nobody could tell there was white primer underneath the clear. I figured I would redo it at some point in the future anyway. Maybe bringing it back to the aqua color the car used to be when it was new and it would be really impressive in that color, aqua with a white stripe down the side.
It was brown when you bought it, didn't it?
No, it
What
was
color
this
was it?
white. The white?
Was it white? I
Yeah,
don't remember. Dean says, my favorite conversion to the Burlock. Dean says, it just needs a 426 missing effect.
no, thank you.
Parker says, is Glender Mid still around, Dean?
Barry, if you got Dean's phone number, you could probably call him. You guys are local to each other. Like the only time they talk is in these lives. No, it's gone, Burger.
Parker says, her default restaurant order is usually a stuffed baked potato. Oh, I love that. Or two. Ooh.
Nobody has that around here.
Pues
Oh,
el leñador.
no. A stuffed baked potato has cheese and all kinds of stuff in it.
Sí, tiene cheese and meat.
That's not, no, you're talking about something else. That's not what a loaded baked potato is over there.
Yes, y lo.
What do you say?
Entonces no sé. Stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
Silverlock says, Dean, research why the modular Ford engine is called modular. 100 bore spacing.
In case you guys have forgot, we are offering memberships since we're coming to the end. We are offering memberships, and the membership videos are about everything we do besides cars. We have one about our park. We have one about our nacho place, which is really popular with the kids here. We have one that nobody's watched on our raspados, our snow cone place. Nobody's even looked at that one. And of course, the one about taking Mrs. Spec out for her hot dog and cup of corn. So,
And
and what?
the main one.
What was the main one?
The main one.
Oh, the first one. Yeah, you get to see Mrs. Spec dancing at a same-sex wedding in Mexico.
What does it matter that it's a same-sex wedding?
It's important.
It's
So
not.
if you want to become a member, you can see all of those videos. Some of them are 45 minutes long, but still. It was nice to go back out to the park and see all the kids and everything. We don't go to the park enough.
Organizers, I never really had a problem with fish eyes on the card marks. It was when painting MDF boards.
What is MDF?
Means there's nachos and Mexican that's
Yes.
nachos with an A. Regular says, is it like membership to the Playboy Club?
No, you do not get a key. No keys for you. No. You do get to see Mrs. Spec dancing in a really pretty red dress with her friends. Not me.
Regular says, what is the shy flaw? By the way, never heard of that. Dean says, like only friends, Barcuda? Papa says, let me get the castanets.
It was very little traditional Mexican music. There was some, but it was not the overflowing thing. There was mostly modern music that you guys were dancing to. Compressed particle board. Don't you spray a base coat on that so the top coat has something smooth to lay onto? Okay, I get the dancing emoji. What's the other one? World? What are you doing?
Um, it's for the
A
disco
disco
ball.
ball. Oh, they had something like that there. They had a really annoying DJ
Oh yeah, I hated the DJ.
and backup singers.
I want to mention it to Juan Carlos. I wanted to wait a little bit, but the DJ, the guy that was following the DJ with the camera, was not hired by anyone. He was from the DJ's guy. He was doing media for the DJ's promotion, which was so annoying.
The DJ, they had people in like in a circle. They're doing certain dances and stuff. The DJ would go up to somebody with a microphone so they could sing the next line, and they're like, nope. Okay, go on to the next one. Nope. Go on to the next one. Nope. That was funny. We were like last night. This guy blasted music at 3:25 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's only 35 minutes. We get it for 5-6 hours at a time from our idiot neighbors.
I think he meant like up to those hours, approximately.
Said at 3:25 to 4 a.m.
Ah, okay.
That's a specific time frame.
Okay, then. No, you don't got to complain. Means
That's only 35 minutes.
Dean says, yes, we're gonna use really good paint applications to find base MDF from near Edendale. We're gonna says, yes, wood undercoat, that's when the fish eyes occur.
Mm. Was it the right product you put on that was supposed to be used for that? I'm just fishing.
Dean says, no. Okay, then. Have a nice day, Marco Rubio.
I was getting the feeling that the people didn't want to sing the next song because of how annoying the guy was, not because they didn't know the words.
Yeah.
Just like, get out of my face, like that.
It is harder to remember something when you have to do it.
Yeah.
You're forced to do it. Butterfly says, okay, time for bed. Work is looking for me tomorrow.
Good night, Biofly.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for your time tonight.
We should make Butterfly a mod.
Why?
Yeah,
Ask Biofly if he wants to be a mod.
Butterfly, do you want to be a mod? That's enough of
Then he may make Dean disappear though.
Why? Oscar!
He was 300 feet away. That was close enough to throw hot water on him, CD. Boiling water.
Vente,
Oscar, in.
vente.
Push the door, dummy. There you go. Now close the door. The cool air is getting out. These dogs do not have thumbs and don't know how to close. What are you doing? Goodbye. Tired of catering to these animals. They should grow thumbs and open and close the doors themselves. Is that too much to ask? Nobody was even talking to you. You were asleep. Go back to sleep. Jeez. Firefly didn't answer.
No, Dean is playing hard to get. And Dean says Bafla may your AC and be DC and cooler for your new understudy. Virgo says I might change my YouTube name to Fish Eyes. Steven says I should get to bed too. Work at 7:25 a.m. tomorrow.
Good night, Stephen.
Good night, Steven.
Thank you for both of you being here. We're pretty close to annoying you guys with ads. We need like 160 watch hours more to be approved for that, so we can earn pennies just like Buff and Kim earn pennies.
Yes.
How could it be too much to ask, Josh? Atto Spec, grow thumbs. Learn how to close the door. I'm not even asking them to pull the door closed from the outside. I'm asking them to, when they come in the room, to push the door closed from the inside. They don't have to pull anything. They don't even need the thumbs. All they have to do is just lean against it and close it. But no, they have to let the cool air out.
Dean says Bale there space Fish Eye YouTube it later. That's poquito.
Put it somewhere you can get to it. Dean says, "You shook me all night long." It hasn't been all night yet, Dean. So Mrs. Speck likes the nickname The Main. Why would she like that name?
The main.
The Main? All one word? THEMAIN? The Main? No.
I'm confused.
If anybody's the main, I am.
It's a mosquito.
The main man. The main everything.
The main annoyance.
Number one. One. The main annoyance. Yes. Absolutely. No. Dato Spec has that one. Bugs us. You're always seeing things that I'm not seeing, but give me that.
Yeah, nothing else I like.
That was a beetle, but still.
No, you should.
We don't need beetles on our wall. You said the main earlier? Is she saying things while I'm not here?
Well, I mean, yes, but no, I don't remember saying it. Honestly, Sister Burles, I don't remember saying it.
The night is young, Dean. For us, you're in the middle of your afternoon.
Did I call him that, or did I call myself that, or what happened? Can you give me more information?
Frank Spencer, I'm a Mang.
I'm a lawyer.
Yes, he is. By the morning, there was only 12 remaining. How many started out? I got a lot of hits on. A lot of people looked at this Nissan 720 carryall. no inquiries, but we can deliver it with matching wheels and new tires and a door handle. And I think we could put a front bumper on it. My ears perked up as part of my email address.
Maybe you just misheard me because I don't remember saying that. It says 250? Question mark?
When I was posting this one, I just kind of happened across a 4-door Nissan 720 carryall, but it doesn't look as good as this one.
Or it says fall down to your legs. It says sometimes to feed a few sharks, they had to consume some army personnel. I think you guys are getting weird.
Buddy, when did the Pathfinder come out and what body style was that on? They never had an enclosed 720, which for you guys stopped in 86 and a half. For us, it went through 93. That was an 88 model. But the first Pathfinder was on the hard body style, the D21. So it would have been a very different truck.
He says Josh. But the Francis thought it was a Pathfinder. Silver says it's called a carryall Mexico. Question mark.
Yes. I don't think Nissan called it that, but basically the whole genre of the enclosed pickups are called carryalls. The Ford, they made Chevys, they made Dodges, they made Nissans. What else did they make? I think that's all I've seen. Well, we're back to number one picture. So we have been here for a little over 2 hours. So what do you want to do? Go another 3-4 hours?
Sure.
I'm going to veto that. And I will see some of you during the week in other lives. And we will be back here on Saturday if we're in town. Next Saturday is 4th of July. Mrs. Spec is taking me out to eat. I'm not sure where. I don't want to know where until we get there. I'm going to need directions, or unless we take an Uber, which we probably should.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I don't have to look for parking. She always picks places that don't have parking. And I have a big truck, so I need space. I need space for my truck.
Let me finish my sentence. I don't think this place has parking.
Then we will take an Uber.
It has as much parking as the tacos.
The one car.
Yep.
Well, hopefully Buff will be on live at some point. CD Burlock, because it was a pretty, he was driving a lot. He has to rest.
Yeah.
So good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for being here and spending your time with us. And we hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.